The British Prime Minister David Cameron has announced that he'll resign by October after the UK voted to leave the European Union. Mr. Cameron says he'll attempt to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months, but that fresh leadership is needed. The Prime Minister had urged the country to vote to remain, but was defeated by 52% to 48%, despite London, Scotland and Northern Ireland backing the staying in campaign.
The British people have made a very clear decision to take a different path. And as such, I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction.
With these words and emotional, David Cameron says he will resign as Prime Minister after Britain's ignored his pleas to stay in the European Union. He, however, assured investors that Britain's economy remains strong, saying there will be no immediate change in the circumstances of British people living in European countries or Europeans living in Britain. His sentiment was shared by leading Leave politician Boris Johnson, who says Britain leaving the European Union will not be rushed.
In voting to leave the EU, it is vital to stress that there is now no need for haste. And indeed, as the Prime Minister has just said, nothing will change over the short term, except that work will have to begin on how to give effect to the will of the people.
Meanwhile, European Union leaders say they're determined to keep the unity of the EU.
Over the past 2 days, I have spoken to all the EU leaders, I mean prime ministers and presidents, as well as heads of the EU institutions, about the possibility of a Brexit. Today, on behalf of the 27 leaders, I can say that we are determined to keep our unity as 27.
As Britain and the EU come to terms with the vote results, analysts say there's no quick divorce on the horizon. It will take at least 2 years for the split from the EU to come about, the first exit by any member state.